Moringa is classified as a superfood by those that have seen its benefits. It is believed that it is able to heal close to 300 diseases, and its properties are far-reaching. The value moves not just from the leaves but to the seeds as well, that are also seen to have commercial value. Today on News in Depth, join me as I look at the economic value of Moringa. I'll be talking to various people linked to the development of value-added products out of this particular crop. Welcoming you to this week's program. My name is Pennipher. Once in a while, something manages to capture global attention. This time around, the spotlight is on a tree called Moringa Oleifera, also fondly referred to as the drumstick tree. It consists of approximately 13 varieties, and its roots have been traced back to Asia.
It originated from India, the northern part of India. That's where it originated from. And currently, the widely grown variety of Moringa is Moringa Oleifera. Yes. So when you speak of Moringa, a lot of people think Moringa is just Moringa Oleifera, the one that has small leaves with a lot of seeds. But then Moringa has several other varieties. On board, we want to bring also Moringa stenopatera, a very good variety as well.
Its pull factor is its medicinal and nutritional attributes. This is because it contains protein, vitamins, fiber and minerals, including all 9 essential amino acids. It is also a rich source of iron, vitamin K and E, vitamin A and calcium, as well as high in antioxidants. In some parts of the world, Moringa has made it onto the dining table as it is used for food. The ability to deal with malnutrition makes stakeholders approve it for consumption.
Moringa brings some nutrients that you need as a household. The issue is that at a household level, we need to promote different types of food, different type of nutritious food. So a household should not only have access to one type of food.
Moringa is a superfood. Moringa has got nutrients that can deal with the problem of malnutrition without adding any other component. Yeah, and because when you look at Zambia, it is actually called the food basket, but we don't have information on the ground on how the food basket can be used. The combination of foods needs to be re-emphasized.
Moringa is also linked to the treatment of a number of diseases that include anemia, arthritis, asthma, cancer, constipation and diabetes. Added to the list are heart problems, high blood pressure, kidney stones, fluid retention and the common fungal, viral and parasitic infections. It is believed that Moringa can energize the human body in a more effective way than regular energy drinks. And in North Carolina at the Appalachian State University, further research is taking place to understand how that works.
Moringa has a lot of properties, and one of them is energy. People that take Moringa usually feel like a lot of energy inside their bodies. So we are trying to find out how this happens, how is working Moringa inside the body, how it produces energy.
Zambian Professor Nathan Moa is leading the North Carolina research and speaks highly of medicinal properties of Moringa.
So our lab is really focused on the medicinal aspects of Moringa, or the health aspect of Moringa. But there's so many benefits that Moringa has, which I would group into 3 major categories. It has agricultural benefits, it has industrial benefits, but as well as medicinal benefits.
Brianna Tate is a master's student at Appalachian State University, and she spoke of her input into the research.
So I'm taking cells harvested from patients with arthritis and treating them with the extract of the plant, and looking at how the plant can attenuate inflammatory chemicals in the cells. Preliminarily, I'm seeing that the plant extracts are actually able to induce apoptosis in the cells that I'm looking in, which is actually good because the types of cells that I look at are actually overpopulated in a patient with arthritis. And so if you induce apoptosis, you may be able to attenuate some of the symptoms of arthritis. So we are very hopeful that we can provide an alternative treatment for arthritis that is more accessible and more affordable and safer than any treatments that are currently on the market.
Issues of inflammation are also of interest to Jacob Gordon, an undergraduate student.
Having moringa as a potentially a supplement, but also a heavy regular occurring item that's in a diet can also really help with that, as in terms of decreasing the amounts of low-grade inflammation that are going on, as well as being able to treat amounts of high-grade inflammation that you commonly associate with a lot of different diseases.
In South Africa, Luke Chimuka is a professor of chemistry at the Wits University, and he has helped to devise a technology for extracting and converting moringa powder into a liquid concentrate. It has been used to create a moringa yogurt and other beverages. The ability to fight disease and provide essential vitamins and minerals earns moringa the classification as a superfood.
The good news about moringa is if you have a child with kwashiorkor, which is severe malnutrition, you can turn that kid around within 2 months.
We are so interested in making research and proving that these benefits are real.
You are better off eating moringa than cabbage. It has got a lot of essential compounds like antioxidants that can help to reduce, not prevent, but to reduce certain lifestyle diseases like, for example, high blood pressure.
So moringa at the moment needs to be promoted because it's a wonder food that really saves lives and would contribute to improving the nutrition status of many people in this country.
Nkole Chanda tested HIV positive in 2001. She has not suffered many opportunistic infections and credits moringa for her good health.
I was introduced to moringa, which my parents started growing there, and my mother would put it in my food, and it really helped me get strong, and just my quality of life improved. They found that my liver and my kidneys are fine because I detox with moringa. And then it's also good for the brain. Yeah, I had a brain scan which showed that my brain just shrank a bit. I didn't get affected because a person who's been sick for a long time, there's that tendency to have a problem with the brain, but mine was just fine. Yes, and then like immunity, I hardly get sick.
A similar testimony is shared by Silver Food Solutions proprietor Sylvia Banda, who describes moringa as the University Teaching Hospital UTH tree.
From the time that I've been using these moringa products, this is my 13th year. I've never been to any hospital to see the doctor to say, I've got this problem, I've got that problem. Personally, I used to be a victim of malaria. Whenever I just start feeling low, I know that it's malaria. When I go to the hospital, they will just confirm. I call it the UTH. Yeah, when you have one plant at home, you have the whole UTH at home.
Moringa Oleifera has been grown in Zambia for many years, but its usefulness has mostly been its medicinal value. Concerns have arisen on the underwhelming use of moringa in steering the growth of the Zambian economy. This is in light of the competitive advantage moringa has on the international market, outstripping commodities like copper.
On a good market day for copper, we know that copper fetches between $6,000 to slightly below $7,000 on a good market day. But moringa, on a bad day, I repeat again, will fetch $8,000 per ton.
Grains like maize do not come anywhere close to the very competitive price of moringa, both locally and internationally.
When you look at soybeans and maize, which seem to be our key active crops in the land of Zambia, you will find that on a best farming season, maize will fetch let's talk in kwacha. Maize will fetch between 1 kwacha and 1 kwacha 15 ngwe per kg. But moringa will fetch, on a bad day, 8 kwacha per kg. Sorry, 8 kwacha per kg, which is about $8 per kg.
One thing certain is that moringa can grow without much trouble in Zambia.
The 2017-2018 season, I've seen a lot of people coming to buy the seed, because apart from the leaves which we normally buy from our farmers, we also encourage them to buy the seed.
Moringa is good in the sense that it can improve the economy of the small-scale farmers, because number one, it is a tree, and you will harvest, and then the tree will give you something else to harvest again. You harvest to give you something else to harvest over a long period of time.
The Zambia Agriculture Research Institute confirms that moringa can be grown in different parts of the country with relative ease.
We're trying to promote the crop. So we're trying to improve the varieties as well and roll the new varieties to farmers out there. But currently what we have at the moment, just demos throughout the country, in certain parts of the country. And then the demos are just to demonstrate to the general public that moringa can be grown in a wide range of soils and it can adapt to different kinds of weather conditions.
Small-scale farmers are linked to the farming of moringa, with Southern Province leading the pack.
Moringa is actually scattered all over. We have some moringa plants in Southern Province. In fact, there are large numbers in Southern Province. We have moringa trees being planted in Central Province. We have just a few that have grown moringa in Eastern Province. These are the provinces that are leading in terms of moringa growing in this country. But the actual numbers, we have not yet done that to say these are the numbers of trees that we have for moringa, including Lusaka Province.
With the international market offering attractive prices for moringa, the need to add value to it is highly recommended.
We have also been following global trends on the evolution of the moringa plant and its various uses, most importantly on the commercialization of moringa. We are seeing now things like use in biofuel, cosmetics, and animal fodder. So we're seeing more that the value chain is changing, and it's not only producers but also processors who are getting interested in using the moringa plant for various uses. As a commission, obviously our interest would be on the value addition aspect. Would be interested in seeing the innovation that will come out from the different products of moringa.
Some industries in other parts of the world thrive on this wonder crop. The entire moringa tree is useful and nothing goes to waste from the bark, flowers and its roots. The seeds and even the roots are useful.
Moringa seed is huge on the world market, and much of it is going to the cosmetic industry, but we can also use it for water purification and get the oil out, and the seed cake that remains could be used for livestock and also for water purification.
Other than its use for food, parts of the tree are being used in livestock feed development, improving soil nutrients, water purification, production of cosmetics and pesticides, among other industrial processes.
So there are industrial application, water purification, agriculture application, which we haven't even talked about. It could be used as pesticide. It could be used for livestock industry. The growth in beef, in goats, in milk yield would grow upwards of 20%.
To reap full benefits, Zari has recommendations on managing the tree.
The most important thing, of course, like for any other crop, is water. So during the dry season, it can thrive, yes, but if you're going to get the maximum out of it, like maximum biomass, leaf biomass out of moringa, you need to do irrigation. Apart from that, you need to scout for diseases as well as pests. You don't want that pests and diseases infesting your plant. In addition, you also need to do fertilization. Just a bit of fertilizers will make you realize a good profit out of it. And then to add on, moringa also requires a lot of pruning. So the more you prune, the more leaf biomass you get out of it. Yes. So the best practice when it comes to pruning is probably pruning twice a week. That way you're going to realize the most out of it.
The wonder crop has attracted attention of Zambian entrepreneurs who in the last 20 years have transformed the tree crop into numerous products. Silver Food Solutions is one of the companies that pioneered Moringa byproducts with the production of powder. Unfortunately, the product was initially mistaken for charms. The early negative reactions prompted the company to refine its Moringa products. About 15 years down the line, the company, which has invested in modern equipment, is now making advanced products out of Moringa.
Many people say Moringa is good, but it has got a smell and aftertaste when you just drink it in tea like that. This is how we came up with the soup. We process the soup. We completed the formulation last year. So when we looked at the combination of orange maize and Moringa, then put together, we came up with a formula of the cereal.
The Moringa revolution seems to be taking many more with it. This is a factory in the heart of Makeni in Lusaka, run by Share Africa Zambia, a not-for-profit company managing projects for UK Christian charity Share Africa. Here, we found that Moringa is infused into peanut butter.
Moringa has got, it's renowned to have a lot of health benefits. For example, it's far much richer than milk. It's far much richer than bananas, far much richer than yogurt, and so forth. All these are what our bodies require, but maybe to find them in one package, it's a bit of a challenge. So normally what we do, not every Zambian would afford anyway, but if they could afford it in a way that it's packaged in one food product where we are adding value to it, then we're extending a mile to that.
Mr. Kasongo explains that Share Africa is working with farmers who are being trained in growing and harvesting Moringa the right way through an outgrower scheme.
So what we have done at the moment, we have started with some few farmers who are doing already groundnuts. We have tied them to the Moringa outgrower scheme. Then we also train them on how to harvest Moringa, because once you harvest Moringa, green as it might be, but if it's dried in a very hot environment or above 65 degrees, then nearly all the nutrients in Moringa are destroyed.
The innovation in the packing of Moringa-infused products cheers Hivos.
That approach manages to trigger different people's interest, different stakeholders' interest into accepting and appreciating the value of Moringa, or it increases the consumption because it's not only coming in one type of, in one form, but rather it's coming in different types of forms, depending on your preference.
Besides innovations in food, a Zambian entrepreneur has started producing Moringa soap. Zindaba Ngwenyama is behind the venture.
I decided to start doing some research. I looked at the different aspects that can be used in Moringa, for instance, tea bags, candles, lotions, and so on. Eventually I came across soap. After that, I did even deeper research on the soap making, and I found out this is something that I could do without too much knowledge.
The Moringa Development Corporation agrees that processing of Moringa will raise Zambia's industrial profile. This is why they want to set up a processing hub in Western Province.
Because for us, like when we were promoting the Moringa Development Corporation, in these communities like in Kaoma, where we have a lot of farmers, our aim is that there we want to put up processing hubs where they can have places where they not only harvest Moringa, but process it into powders, into different products that can be ready for the market.
Zindawa believes that investment in Moringa will transform the agriculture sector landscape, but support to the sector is needed.
I think Moringa is a wonderful opportunity to help the different sectors in Zambia. If we've got organizations like CEC who have got funds, I think it would be good if we could tap into those funds.
The international interest in Moringa is validated by a Dutch consultant visiting Zambia for a study on Zambian Moringa contracted by the Dutch Enterprise Agency. Caspar Curva is a senior consultant at Profound.
I'm doing a study consisting of two parts. I have looked already at the European market to see what the potential is of Zambian Moringa in Europe. And now I'm here in Zambia to see what the capacities are currently in Zambia to produce Moringa for the international market.
Caspar says interest in Africa and Zambia in particular is for the purpose of establishing new suppliers of organically grown Moringa, which India, the world's biggest supplier, is struggling to provide.
Other countries are becoming additional suppliers to the European market. They are considering Moringa as an interesting export product themselves, but European buyers are also interested in diversifying their sources for Moringa, because in India there are some problems with the organic certification for Moringa. And that is also where I see a big opportunity for Zambia to compete with India in the market for organic certified Moringa.
Caspar's work in Zambia is being followed closely by the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission.
We want to see where the potential is for the sector and how the Commission can be involved. But you might also be interested to know that as a Commission, we're not only mandated with funding, but also Section 29 of our Act actually mandates us to identify venture capital opportunities. So for us, what we would also like to see is any interest from venture capitalists in the Netherlands. Last year, we did for the first time a venture capital conference with investors in Germany. We would like to see that grow more, because that is also another route in which we know that our SMEs can access funding apart from what the Commission is able to offer.
The two-part research, which started in Europe in January 2018, is expected to be completed by May this year.
So there may be Dutch investors interested in investing in Zambian Moringa. The investors are actually also waiting for my research to see what the potential is for the product, because for an investor it's about assessing the risks of your investment, and one of the risks is that you invest in a company to produce Moringa and then there's no market for the Moringa. So they need to know first, is there a market for Zambian Moringa?
In view of the high interest Moringa has drawn internationally, Zambian farmers are encouraged to grow the tree on large scale.
I think what can drive the future we are seeing is integrating Moringa in the agricultural value chain, because the world is hungry out there. There are so many billions of hungry people. That is already a mass market. It means that, if we specialize, that we will produce and package and take to the marketplace, we'll be able to also participate in feeding the world. The world is hungrier now. So if we ourselves here can, specialize in producing, whether it's organic Moringa or things that, you are not adding a lot of these outside inputs, the world is waiting with arms open to receive our products. All that we need to do is to ensure that, most of the things that we talk about should not end up talking, but must be on the ground and mobilize our farmers to be able to see the opportunity.
At the same time, farmers are encouraged to undergo training to manage the crop well.
A lot of people who are growing Moringa, but the quality of the seeds are not known. There are no regulations, there are no standards, there are no policies at the government level. And for Zambia to have access to the international market, we have to have those things in place.
The processing part of it is not very well known by the small-scale farmers. They harvest the plants and just put in the sun like that. That makes it lose its value, both nutritionally and as a medicine plant. And it will not be bought by those who are available to buy.
Zari is also doing its part.
Moringa is a very lucrative business. It's of economic importance. Not only economic importance, I think we need it for medicinal purposes, for for our animals. We need it every day. So for everyone that has capacity and is interested to get on it, they should get on board. And then I'd like also to say that at Zari, under the tree crop section at Mount Makulu, Nanga in Mazabuka, as well as other Zari stations in the country, we do offer support to farmers that are interested. So if you want information, you want to know how to grow it, you want how best you can do it, you can still just walk into our offices and we'll be glad to help.
In growing the Moringa tree population, the Moringa Development Association of Zambia wants 20 million trees to be grown in the next 5 to 10 years. However, among the challenges seen to be inhibiting growth of the sector is fragmentation.
The main reason why we formed the Moringa Development Association was due to the fact that we have identified the full potential that Moringa has, but most of it is untapped. So the association and its members came together and wanted to have this Moringa dream for Zambia be done in a structured way.
It is our role actually to bring these farmers together and then link them to output market, people who give them inputs, maybe on credit or the like, and also link them to the output market where they will sell the products that they are getting from their fields.
Those in the Moringa business feel government should get involved in research, growing and processing the highly profitable tree.
What we want to see actually happen from the government point of view is to encourage farmers. Everyone who has got a piece of land which is just loafing, let them come up with something to entice them.
The research has to be in place. Extension to the farmers has to be there, and so these are some of the key bottlenecks that we currently have.
Policy changes are part of the recommendations.
The government has to come in, all stakeholders have to come in and make it known that Moringa is got the value that can change Zambia in a very positive way.
Moringa is likely to be a key catalyst in the growth of the Zambian economy if fully exploited.
So what we need to do is that, yes, we have internal consumption in Zambia, but let's also try to see if other avenues outside this country can be opened where we can actually have opportunities to export Moringa. That would really be important in the process of, I think, sustainability.
In line with the call to diversify the Zambian economy, encouraging farmers to take part in the Moringa business is projected to not only aid the growth of the sector, but industrial capacity as well. The onus is on farmers and processors to seize the opportunity and fully exploit the Moringa tree due to its health benefits and economic incentives. The economic value of Moringa was the core of our discussion on today's edition of News in Depth, where many have classified this tree crop as green gold that can help to transform the Zambian economy. We do hope that you found this week's program informative. Join us next week for yet another interesting news documentary right here on News in Depth. This is Pennipher saying goodbye and God bless you.